California just made it so much easier to buy your first home. The CalHFA Dream for All program can lend you up to 20% of the purchase price towards your down payment and closing costs, eliminating the need for private mortgage insurance. The following is my conversation with an amazing lender, Anthony Booker with LaSalle Mortgage. I do want to apologize for the video quality. It is not that great. We're getting that sorted out, but it is an excellent conversation that will give you so much insight into this program and what you need to do to qualify and apply. We're going to have much more information and hopefully many more conversations once we start getting questions from you guys. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, get the bell on so you can receive notifications, because this program is amazing. It's going to go quickly and you're going to want to have all your questions answered as soon as possible. With that being said, let's jump right into my conversation with Anthony Booker. I appreciate him taking the time, and I know you guys will get so much out of this conversation. All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Jason Valenzuela. I'm sure you've seen me before all over social media. I got with me today Anthony Booker with LaSalle Mortgage, and today we're talking about an amazing new program from CalHFA. That program is Dream for All. We're going to dig into the details. It's an amazing program. So Anthony, why don't you introduce yourself to the people out there?
Right on. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. My name is Anthony Booker. I'm a mortgage lender with LaSalle Mortgage Services out of Oakland, California. Yeah, super excited to be here, man. I'm ramped up about this program. This is going to be a huge deal for a lot of people.
So many people. I'm super psyched about it too. So let's just dive right into to what the program actually is, what it can do for people, and how much of an amazing opportunity this is going to be.
Let's do it.
So, yeah, why don't you just walk us through, first off, just what is the Dream for All program?
So the Dream for All program is essentially a shared equity program where the state of California is willing to give eligible borrowers up to 20% of the funds of the purchase price of your new home. And those funds are to be allocated towards down payment and closing costs. You can kind of play around with it how you want it to, whether you want to use the full 20% for down payment, or if you want to use some of those funds and kind of divide them up to where you can cover your down payment, cover your closing costs. There's a small fee for using the program as well. You can also fund that through the 20%. So you can be looking at a situation where you're coming out of pocket very little. Honestly, it depends on how you want to use the funds, but the purpose behind it is to get more home buyers out in California and start to stimulate home ownership as a whole.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, that sounds amazing. Getting more home buyers into the market is super important right now. We know that interest rates are high, prices are staying high, especially out in the Bay Area and even the Central Valley out by me. So shared equity might be a new term to a lot of people. Can you walk us through what that means for the home buyer?
Yeah, absolutely. So in a nutshell, what it is any equity appreciation you see on your home, meaning as it increases in value, your equity is going to increase as well. Now, since the program is giving you a large portion of funds up front, one of their catches is they are taking 20% of any equity growth that you experience. So as an example, let's just say in 5 years, your home appreciates 100K, and this is just a rough number, right? CalHFA then is going to have ownership of 20% of that equity. So 20,000 of that $100,000 in growth on your home is actually belonging to the state.
Great. Okay. So it's essentially just a return on their investment. They're giving you 20% down, so they'll take 20% of your profit.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. And would there be a situation where you would have to repay that loan, that initial 20% loan, prior to selling your home?
Right. Yeah, that's a great question and something that you should know before you get into it. So that 20% plus the original 20% that they give you for the down payment assistance becomes repayable in a situation where you sell the home, where you change ownership to the home. So changing title, someone else becomes the owner. That's when it will become repayable. You are allowed one refinance of the home. Okay. The terms of that are not out yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be a refinance into another CalHFA first mortgage. But if you were to do a subsequent refinance after that, that would also create an event where that 20% becomes repayable.
So refinancing in the future, were the interest rates to come down a little bit, I'd still be able to take advantage of that?
Yeah, definitely. So I believe what's going to happen is going to have to be through a CalHFA first mortgage, but the rules are so it has to be advantageous, right? It has to have a net tangible benefit for it to make sense. So when you're going to refinance, I believe the rule is it has to be at least 0.5% lower than what your original first mortgage note rate is. So if you originally got in at 6.5 on your refinance, you have to be at least 6%. You have to see some savings on monthly payment, decrease in interest rate, right, for it to actually make sense and for it to work. So you are allowed one refinance, but the terms have to line up.
Yeah, so you want to be judicious with that and make sure it's going to be advantageous for you.
Right. Absolutely.
All right, so perfect world, 5-10 years from now, what if my equity skyrockets? Is there any kind of limit to the amount of money I'd have to pay back, or is it just 20% of literally any equity that I get?
So that's the good thing is they're not being like super greedy when it comes to this. So they have set a cap as far as how much they can demand to be repayable. So the good thing is they set a cap of 250%, right? So whatever the original loan amount is, let's just say that's $100,000 is what they give you up front for down payment and closing costs. The max they can get back when it's all said and done would be $350,000. So they can't take you above that 250% threshold.
All right, so the application process, is there anything else that I have to do on top of just providing my financial information, things like that?
I mean, other than just filling out a full application and cooperating with your lender, there was going to be 2 homebuyer education courses that CalHFA requires you to take. So one of their priorities is making sure that their borrowers are well educated. They want to make sure that their people know what they're getting into and people aren't just going into it blind, right? So shouldn't be anything, that takes up too much of your time. It's just going to be 2 courses about an hour long. They make you do it with a CalHFA certified counselor to make sure that everything is transparent. So yeah, nothing too bad other than those courses.
Perfect. Yeah, education's important regardless. I'm sure you're just like me. I like to educate my buyers as much as possible, and if we get a helping hand in that, it can't do anything but help.
Right. I fully agree.
So with this being a brand new program, it's just launching today, March 27, 2023. There's a lot of myths out there. There's a lot of people on social media that are talking about this a ton. So we just wanted to dispel a couple of myths while we're here. Number one is, can this be used with an FHA loan, a VA loan, a USDA loan?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's shed some light on this one for sure. So this program is a little bit different in the fact that obviously they're allocating a lot more funds to the borrower. So they want the financial profile to look a little bit different. We all know like FHA, USDA, VA is a little bit more of a lenient loan program. So for this program, they actually decided to make it just conventional. So you have to at least qualify on regular conventional loan terms. We're still waiting to see what FICO score is going to look like. But yeah, this one is only to be used in conjunction with conventional loans.
Myth number two is something that we see all the time on social media is who are these programs actually going to be for? So for this particular program, do you have to be low income?
No, so actually for this one, they're always reserved for low to moderate income, but in this case, moderate is extended a little bit, I would say, because they typically only allow you to go to 80% of the area median average. You can still go up to 120 on some of the programs, but on this particular program, they're allowing borrowers that go up to 150% of their county's area median income. So
Wow.
not really reserved just for low income people. You got people on both sides of the spectrum there.
Right. And what does that look like in the Bay Area, say?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're someone that lives in, let's just say Alameda County, for example, if you're going all the way up to that max 150% of the area median average, that would look like around 235K. If your household makes that or below, you qualify for that program.
Right. And I know here in San Joaquin, it's 168,000 for the household income, and in Stanislaus, it's only slightly lower at 159,000.
Right, and those numbers used to look a lot lower on some of those other programs. So
Definitely. I know we have followers as far away as Merced County. What does that look like over there?
Yeah, so even Merced, I was surprised. That one comes in at about 109K per year for combined household income. So
Wow.
you get a lot out there with that.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, that's great. This is going to help a lot of buyers.
For sure.
Then the final myth, something that I've been seeing a lot of people asking is, and I know you kind of touched on it earlier, this money, how is it going to be broken up as far as, can you use some of it for down payment? Can you use some for closing costs? What's that going to look like?
Yeah, so I mean, ultimately, it's on the borrower and how much they want to come out of pocket. I mean, if you're in a situation where you don't have much savings, I mean, you can potentially get away with only putting your earnest money deposit, and you can use the program to cover down payment, to cover closing costs. There's that small funding fee. You can use the program to cover the funding fee. So you can really, play around with it and customize it a little bit to how you want it to look. But ultimately, yeah, you can use it to cover virtually all of your expenses.
That's amazing. So this sounds like an amazing program. Is there going to be a limit on like the number of loans or the amount of money that they're going to be investing into this?
So I believe the investment in this program was $550 million. How it works is, I mean, there's no set time duration. It's just when the funds run out, they run out. They typically will give people like a heads up, maybe like a month out of, when they're about to run out. They kind of give updates. But I would say, I was looking online and they said they were estimating about 7,500 loans in the
Wow.
state around what it's gonna shake out to. So, it's hard to say how long it's going to be around, but just given the terms, you can tell it's an amazing program. So I would expect a lot of people to be jumping on it ASAP.
Yeah. So for anybody out there who's even thinking about buying this year and want to take advantage of this program, super important to get your applications in as soon as possible. It is going to be kind of first come, first serve if I have that right.
Yeah, absolutely. First come, first serve. And yeah, a lot of people taking advantage of it.
All right. Hopefully that answered a ton of your guys' questions out there. I hope you feel more informed. I want to thank Anthony for coming on and giving us all this great information about this amazing program. Anthony, anything else that you want to tell the people out there?
Man, like we were just talking about, I mean, you got to jump on this while it's around, because this is going to be one of those kind of, just like, I'm sure you remember CalHFA Equity Builder, where it ran out fast and a lot of people were like, dang, I wish I would have took advantage of that. So huge opportunity. I would just say, if you've been on the fence, now's your time. But yeah, other than that, man, I appreciate you having me. It was really fun just putting some educational content together, letting the people know the opportunities that are out there. And I look forward to doing more in the future for sure.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you guys are looking for a lending and realtor team out there, you got something here. We're going to educate you. We got your best interests at heart. And check the links below in the YouTube description. That's going to give you links to applications, a chance to set up meetings with us if you have more questions. And hopefully we can do some lives in the future and answer more of your guys' questions about this program or other programs, or just general real estate and mortgage questions in the future.